Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another wrestling reaction. I am Billy with Billy X Wrestling and I'm glad to see you here today. Today, I've got a pretty good one. It is 10 things that aren't working in the Triple H era of WWE. Now, I'm pretty sure this is going to get maybe a little controversial. There are people that really love what Triple H is doing, and there are people that, think that he doesn't really know what he's doing too much. I'm curious to see what they all add. There are a few problems that I also have with this era, and that is the main thing is there's very formulaic things that are happening, and it's not the fact that it's just happening every once in a while, because that would be fine. They're happening every week. Roman Reigns' finishes of matches aren't really happening every week because he's not really there every week, but every time Roman Reigns has a match, it's the same formulaic outcome. And I'm not saying that cheating to win as a heel isn't good, because that's what heels do, but I think he only has one actual clean finish in however many years, and that was against Logan Paul. And then he has one finish, I think that's a disqualification against Seth Rollins. So with that being said, every single other match from Roman Reigns has been the same thing. I'm not mad at Roman Reigns being champion. I'm just upset at the same way that he's winning matches over and over and over and over again. So formulaic outcomes over and over and over again. I mean, every week is ending in a chaotic freaking brawl. It seems like it would be fine if that was like here and there, but you're watering it down with doing it every week. So with that, I'll stop rambling. We'll go ahead and get into the video. I just want to say one thing. What is the number one thing that you think is not working right now in WWE? Let me know down in the comment section. The comment with the most likes will be pinned to the top of the comment section, and I might even do something a little special for the one who got the most likes. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into this reaction.
Since Triple H was appointed as head of WWE Creative in the summer of 2022, the landscape at WWE has drastically altered. From returning wrestlers making an impact to the game's focus in restoring prestige to the mid-card titles, the majority of Triple H's creative direction has been praised by fans. Awesome. However, there are some things in the Triple H era of WWE that fans have been critical towards. These are things that fans are continuously pushing for the game to fix, and hopefully over the next few months, the former WWE champion implements plans to rectify some of the major issues that fans have with the current product. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 things that aren't working in the Triple H era of WWE. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, WrestleMania Shorts.
Why aren't you guys?
Number 10, formulaic end to shows.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like formulaic ending the shows, right? I'm hoping this will talk about like the brawling, because if they talk about something else, then they see something that I'm not.
Common complaints fans have in relation to Raw and SmackDown is that every week the two respective shows seem to end in a very similar way. Triple H enjoys a mass brawl to end the show, and whilst these types of endings are highly entertaining, booking them frequently make them lose their wow factor. It's almost as if Triple H struggles to know how to end an episode of Raw, and he believes that if the show doesn't go off the air with some type of chaos, fans won't be back next week.
Well, that's what the Attitude Era was really big on. I mean, I grew up watching like 90s wrestling with like the Attitude Era. Peak Attitude Era, every single week it seemed like it went off the air with a chaotic ending. It was Stone Cold beating up Vince and crew, or it was the opposite way. It was Vince and crew beating up on Stone Cold, or it was like The Rock and Undertaker and Mankind Triple H all going at each other. The Ministry, it was just chaotic every single week, and I think Triple H is trying to get back to that.
The same can be said for most premium live events, particularly those headlined by Roman Reigns. If Reigns is main eventing the show, it's now virtually guaranteed that his match will end with outside interference, and the PLE in question will go off the air with Reigns standing tall. Number 9, Raw's commentary team.
Exactly what I talked about at the beginning.
Whereas SmackDown's commentary team consisting of Michael Cole and Wade Barrett is praised by fans, the same can't be said for the Raw commentary team. Raw's commentary
I
team
love
consists
Wade
of
Barrett's
Kevin Patrick
commentator.
and Corey Graves, and fans have been extremely critical of this
Kevin
pairing.
Patrick.
There's no chemistry whatsoever there, and Patrick still sounds nervous when calling WWE's flagship show.
I don't think Kevin Patrick sounds nervous. Like, I don't think he's all that bad. I just think there could be a better pairing. Honestly, I think Corey Graves should go into, like, managerial services. I think he would be awesome as a manager.
Patrick has great potential as a lead announcer, but throwing him into the deep end and allowing him to call Raw is a huge risk that really isn't paying off. Patrick calling shows such as NXT and Main Event, and WWE rehiring Amaro Ranallo or another notable play-by-play commentator may be a smart
I'm
move.
not sure if Mara wants
Number
to
8.
back.
The Women's Division. Now, upon opening Twitter, there are endless complaints relating how Triple H is booking the women's division in WWE.
Like
Some fans state that Triple H has yet to book a compelling feud for the women's division since taking over, and that the women's roster simply isn't his priority. There is an argument to be made that Triple H has missed the mark with several women's storylines of the past year.
I also don't think that Triple H has had complete control over this. I think that even when Vince McMahon was so-called gone, I still think Vince McMahon had control, I guess. I don't think that Vince McMahon had full control over everything, but I think that things still had to pass through Vince McMahon. With that being said, he's made Rhea Ripley champion. Rhea Ripley was one of his favorites even in NXT. Bianca Belair champion. The rise of Io Sky. I don't think he's doing as bad of a job as what this video's making it out to be. But with that being said, there is the mishandling of Damage Control. I think Damage Control should have been a lot more powerful of a group, because they've pretty much been glorified jobbers. I know they were tag team champions for a while, but their reign felt like insignificant. I think that Damage Control should have won at WrestleMania. I don't know. I feel like Damage Control right now is like the biggest miss for them. Candice LeRae, I don't really feel like at this point had any plans of being the main event scene. Chelsea Green was one of those ones who came in, and I just seen her as mid-card, like straight from the jump. I didn't think she had like a level of main event status. I don't think that's what Chelsea Green was meant like to be for. So I don't think that is like a missed opportunity. I think Chelsea Green's doing fine like with what she's doing. So I don't know. I don't agree with this part fully.
The Damage Control storyline was great at first, but the talented trio have seemingly lost every match they've had, and there's no surprise that there are rumors of Triple H wanting to split them up. His efforts when it came to the women at WrestleMania 39 were a huge disappointment. The two women's matches, Rhea Ripley vs Charlotte Flair and Asuka vs Bianca Belair, had zero story going into them, and this ultimately heavily damaged the hype for the two respective matches.
Asuka and Bianca, I can get behind that fact. I think the storyline and the hype behind that match, I think, was at a lull, right? There wasn't a whole lot to it, and I will say Asuka has been a very, very big miss. Asuka, I think the Kana gimmick should have been kept strong, just like Demon Balor was kept strong with like NXT. The Charlotte and Rhea thing, I mean, their story stretches all the way back to when Charlotte beat Rhea at WrestleMania for the NXT title. So I mean, like, I don't really think that didn't have a lot of heat. I think they had heat already.
Triple H needs to prioritize creating compelling storylines for women, or at least hire a writer to solely work on booking storylines that can lead to fans getting excited about the women's division once again.
I mean, that's fair.
Number 7. The presentation of Liv Morgan. Speaking of the women's division, the presentation of Liv Morgan is one of the major duds of Triple H's time running creative. When Morgan won,
I'm probably going to catch a lot of heat for this. I don't think that Liv is like all that meant for the main event scene. I think she's fine in the tag team division. Her and Raquel, I think, are doing wonders together. I love those two as a tag team. Unfortunate timing for Liv Morgan's injury at this point. As I record, I think that she's injured right now, but I don't know if the last title run that she had that feud with Ronda Rousey, and let's just face it, those two in the ring together, like, to me, was extremely hard to watch because they felt like two people that need other people to take the lead in matches and maybe call like the matches in the ring. uh it felt weird, right? If Liv Morgan can have that like dance partner that can lead in the ring, I think that person can elevate Liv, but Liv by herself, I think is like a mid Carter at best. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't don't come at me. Don't come at me. But that's just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think of Liv Morgan down below.
Subsequently cashed in on Ronda Rousey, it was a welcome change of pace from fans. Morgan was super over with the fans, and her reign felt fresh and different. However, the feud with Rousey was handled atrociously, and Morgan came out of the feud without a title and looking like she had zero credibility.
Was it handled atrociously, or was it just the fact that like everyone kind of seen that those two working together was just kind of
The old let it play out expression was used in relation to Morgan's booking, but she was simply relegated to the tag division, and it looks like Triple H has no plans to keep Morgan in the hunt for a singles title. Number 6. Returns. Triple H has brought back a number of names to WWE that have been released in the years prior. Names such as Braun Strowman, Karrion Kross, Chelsea Green, and Johnny Gargano have all made WWE comebacks. The majority of these returns have been total letdowns. Triple H bringing these talents back was a good idea, but so far he's only managed to use a select few effectively. Talents such as Karrion Kross and Johnny Gargano are barely on TV, and when they're on TV, they're failing to get a reaction. Triple H has also brought back talent such as a Hit Row stable, a group who are evidently not ready for the main roster.
Can we just say that like Swerve Scott was like the reason why Hit Row was as popular as it was? Like Swerve Scott like made Hit Row. I have no issue with the rest of Hit Row, but they're not the same without Swerve at the helm.
But the game has randomly brought them back because they were once popular when he ran NXT. Triple H, before bringing these talents back, should have assessed who was actually needed and not based these major decisions on who he was a fan of in NXT. Number 5. Lack of planning.
Let's just get this out of the way real quick, right? Triple H, in my opinion, remember, this is my opinion. You guys don't have to agree with it, and that is completely fine. Let me know that you don't agree with it down in the comments section. But, and I'm sure you guys will. But, at this moment, I think that Triple H is a fantastic booker of pro wrestling, right? He knows how to accommodate the wrestling fans, right? So, he knows how to put together stuff that the pro wrestling fan, as far as liking in-ring talent, he knows how to put together that like to a T. Now, with that said, I'm not sure if Triple H knows how to book a very good entertainment like product, right? So when it comes down to entertainment, you have to have things lined up, just like it's getting in here. You have to have things planned out. It's a different style of audience. It is a more generalized audience. So I'm not too sure about his booking of entertainment wise, which is the reason why I believe Johnny Gargano, Karrion Kross, all the people he's calling up, aren't really working out with the fans, because a lot of main roster fans are entertainment fans. They want to be entertained. The reason why NXT popped off so much is because that fan base were fans of pro wrestling. They cared more about the 45 to 60 minute match rather than the character building, right? So I think that's Triple H like in a nutshell.
Now, planning is vital when it comes to wrestling, but with Triple H he seems rather spontaneous when it comes to his booking plans. In relation to the many returns over the past year, Triple H has brought several of these names back with zero creative direction. Why on earth Triple H would bring names back without a concrete creative direction makes no sense, and it just creates further problems for him down the line. There is also a major lack of planning when it comes to major feuds and title reigns. There are several rumors surrounding who will face Roman Reigns next, but these plans should already be locked in, and Triple H should be looking to plan way in advance so these storylines can develop to the highest level possible.
You would think for the Roman Reigns storyline that he would have that stuff booked, like he would book that backwards, right? This is where we want to end. Now let's set the goals like in between.
Number 4, the return of Bray Wyatt. When Wyatt returned at Extreme Rules in 2022,
brutal.
fans were elated. Wyatt was released from WWE in 2021, and this was one of the most shocking releases in recent memory. Wyatt received a nuclear reaction from fans, and it was made clear based on this initial presentation that Wyatt was once again going to be a top star. Unfortunately, a few weeks after Wyatt's return, the magic began to fade. Wyatt would introduce fans to Uncle Howdy, and whilst this was fun at first, it dragged on and on without fans knowing any more information about the mysterious figure. Wyatt's feud with LA Knight was decent, but their match at the Royal Rumble
LA Knight helped that match so much.
Was heavily criticized, and Knight was the one who was carrying the feud. Exactly. It also looked like Wyatt was going to rekindle his on-screen partnership with Alexa Bliss, but this went absolutely nowhere.
Kind of hoping that don't happen either. And it's nothing against Alexa, but I'm just so tired of that story.
Wyatt was initially planned to face Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania 39, but due to illness that Wyatt suffered, this was scrapped. His return has been a huge missed opportunity, and despite being back since October, Wyatt has only wrestled a total of 1 match across all episodes of TV and premium live events.
The issue, I think, with Bray Wyatt was just, at this point, lack of direction, and it goes back to the last point, lack of planning. They didn't know where they really wanted to go with Bray Wyatt. I'm not sure if Bray Wyatt really, knew about where they were going to go. I think they had the return and what they wanted to do, up until WrestleMania, and then after that, it was just go out there and stall while we come up with plans, right? At least that's what it felt like. I'm not saying that's what went on, but that's definitely what this felt like. Uncle Howdy would come on the screen and just kind of laugh and say just cryptic stuff for about 60 seconds, and then that was apparently the progression of the story. His return was just weird.
When Wyatt returns, Triple H needs to work out what direction he wants to take his character in, because fans need answers, as currently his character arc is a complete mess that has left fans very frustrated.
Yeah.
Number 3, Cody Rhodes fails to finish the story. Heading into WrestleMania 39, it seemed like a certainty that Cody Rhodes was going to conquer Roman Reigns. Rhodes' merchandise numbers were through the roof, and Rhodes-led house show events were selling out across North America. Fast forward to the end of WrestleMania 39, when Reigns pinned Rhodes to retain the undisputed Universal title.
Yeah,
I know. He was literally sucked out of the SoFi Stadium.
So, I may be in the minority here, but I'm okay with the result of Roman winning at WrestleMania, because I think there's more to be told from this story. Right, I think there's more money there. So I'm completely fine with the result. I'm not okay with how the result happened. Like I said, the formulaic Roman Reigns match, I'm not okay with that. But I'm okay with Roman Reigns beating Cody, right? And actually, my prediction I did with my buddy, I actually had Roman beating Cody. The reason why is because I look at this as, Cody Rhodes as, a superhero, right? And in his story, he hasn't really faced adversary yet, besides the whole torn pec, but that wasn't a written adversary, right? So he comes back, gets the last spot in the Royal Rumble, so gets the easiest spot in the Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble, right? Statistically. Then he goes into this feud with Roman Reigns, and he's just supposed to beat Roman Reigns, the supervillain of this superhero story. The superhero never beats the big bad on the first attempt. The supervillain always knocks the superhero down a peg. The superhero starts questioning himself, wondering if he still has it in him, and then what happens? The superhero starts having to face smaller villains, right, to build himself back up before he goes back at the bad supervillain and takes him down. Right now, Cody Rhodes is in a feud with Brock Lesnar. I'm loving this Brock Lesnar feud. It's showing that Cody Rhodes has to not rely on his brain, but he has to rely on his heart and on his grit, right? So he's going to work on different things with each new feud, and he's going to put all that together to eventually dethrone Roman Reigns. It's WWE, so most likely I'm way out in left field on this one. But I'm okay with this result right now.
They believe that there is more of the story to tell when it comes to Rhodes winning the title, and they also believe that Reigns hitting 1000 days as champion is great from a marketing perspective. Rhodes winning at WrestleMania 39 was a perfect occasion to make Rhodes
I
the
wasn't
face
even
of the
looking at it from a
company.
1,000
There
days
was no logical
perspective.
reason why this shouldn't have happened, and WWE may have missed the opportunity of a lifetime. Number 2,
I don't agree with
Roman
that.
Reigns'
There definitely was
reign.
a logical
One of the
reason.
problems with Roman Reigns' title reign is that it's become very stale. Reigns has held one of his world titles for almost 1000 days, and while some of his feuds have been amazing, the formulaic approach to his matches have become very stale. WWE seems to think that Reigns reaching 1000 days is a huge deal, but is this really going to lead to an increase in business? The reality is that live events and TV dates without Reigns being advertised are selling out, so Reigns isn't remotely positively influencing the business as reigning champion. WWE decided to have Reigns drop the title to Cody Rhodes wouldn't have remotely hindered business, and this decision has led to a strong portion of fans just wanting Reigns' title reign to come to an end.
I don't think it's his title reign that is really bad. Just like I said before, his title reign isn't bad. It's the way that they have booked like the endings to his matches. You gotta think if you take the endings off of all of his matches and just look at like the beginning all the way up until before the interference happens, people are on the edge of their seats. Look at the Drew McIntyre like match they had, even the Logan Paul match, the Seth Rollins match, like the Edge and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. People were at the edges of their seats for these matches. These matches were not bad by any means. The only thing that was bad was the fact that the matches kept ending the same exact way.
There's also a major problem with Reigns' part-time status. Reigns appeared on Raw after WrestleMania, and then he's been absent since then. Part-time world champions are never a good thing, and this is certainly one of those occasions in which Triple H needs to realize that Reigns holding 2 world titles hostage probably isn't the smartest move, especially when it comes to how fans are perceiving the modern era. And number 1, the sheer logic. After a few short weeks after WrestleMania 39, Triple H came down to the ring on Raw and introduced fans to the brand new world title. The title design was excellent, but it wasn't Triple H's reasoning that led to complaints from fans. Triple H explained that Reigns had negotiated a part-time contract, so they needed a new world champion, because a part-time champion isn't good for the company. The logic of this made zero sense.
So
Reigns had already been on a part-time contract for around a year, and it instantly presented the new world title as a secondary title, as it was solely created because the actual world champion wasn't around. This new world title makes things extremely messy in WWE. In theory, there are 3 separate world titles. There's a new world title, and a WWE title, and the Universal title, in which Reigns has held for almost 1000 days. Fans are hoping that Triple H has thought this idea through, as whilst the idea of a new world title is probably needed, especially for the Raw brand, the reasoning and rationale wasn't the best. There are several big names rumored to win the new title, with names such as Seth Rollins and Finn Balor being firm favorites. They have a tough task in making this new world title credible, and they're going to have to rely on talents promoting the world title as if it's the biggest and most important thing in the entire world. But there you have it, folks. 10 things.
So what do you guys think? Like, what is your biggest problem with things in WWE right now under the Triple H banner? At the end of the day, Triple H is a pro wrestling booker, right? He's that old school pro wrestling booker that that pretty much relies on the in-ring product. And the way of WWE right now, the main roster, and even NXT 2.0 at this point, they're an entertainment business. The main roster has been an entertainment business for decades now. Just being good in the ring or being great in the ring isn't going to cut it. And for WWE's main roster, you have to have the character work as well. If you look at some of WWE's best wrestlers, they're mega stars of all time, right? You look at like Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, The Rock. I'm talking strictly like mega stars. John Cena. They weren't all like great in the ring. Like they were good. They were solid in the ring, right? Even Hulk Hogan was solid in the ring. I know he gets crapped on for more than just his in-ring skill. I get that. I'm not talking about Hulk the person. I'm talking about just Hulk Hogan, his skills in the ring. if you go back and look at his matches in like Japan and stuff like that, the dude could do like spinning drop toe holds. He was doing like head scissor takedowns and stuff like that. He could do like he could work. He just didn't have to. Like when it came down to when he became that megastar and Hulkamania was running wild, he didn't have to work that style. If you didn't have to work that style, then why would you, right? And be as over and making the money that you are. So he did what was smart, a smart decision, and in his case. But most of these megastars are big characters, and I think a lot of these guys that are coming back, like the Johnny Garganos and the Karrion Kross, they're not over the top like huge characters. They're they're great to very solid wrestlers like in ring that worked in NXT because that's the crowd. That's the crowd that you had to put on for, and you know they had it. Those crowds wanted those 45-minute to 60-minute matches all the time. They wanted those 2 out of 3 falls. The general wrestling crowd just wants to be entertained, and I think that Triple H is more of a pro wrestling booker. So yeah, that's my deal with the Triple H era. We'll see if he hires writers or how he goes here in the distance. I mean, who knows, man? He could surprise all of us. At the end of the day, though, I think Raw currently is in a better spot than it has been in a while, but it still has some ways to go. So with that, let me know what you guys thought of the video and your guys' reaction. So down in the comment section, give me your biggest problem with the Triple H era. The most liked comment will be pinned to the top of the comment section, and that person, we will have something a little special for you in due time. So with that, if you like the video, go ahead, please hit that like button. It lets YouTube know that people are watching and liking the video, and it sends it out to more wrestling fans so we can grow this X-Wrestling community, and that's what this channel is all about. If you want to see more weekly wrestling content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I put out wrestling videos weekly. I'm even going to be doing live streams and live watch-alongs here soon, and I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on the latest wrestling news here in the future as well. If you want to be one of the first people to watch the video, hit that little notification bell down there, and you will get the video as soon as it drops. I mean, what's better than that? Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, take care of yourself, and I will catch you in the next reaction. Later.